Something to consider is your hand placement. If you're a beginner player, you might want to have your hand over the drum head because it's an easy reference point for your thumb to know where it needs to be in order to pluck the fifth string. As you play, you might end up hitting the drum head, but that's totally fine because it will be in rhythm with everything you're playing and it won't sound bad. Where you play on the strings has an effect on the sound, so I tend to play up on the neck because the sound is warmer and rounder. Playing further down, closer to the bridge, will give you a brighter, sharper sound. If you're having trouble getting a clear or loud tone with your striking finger, you may not have enough fingernail. You can see that I keep my fingernail pretty long, and that's so that I have enough fingernail to get a nice, bright, clear tone. If your fingernail is short, the pad of your finger might be brushing against the string and partially muting it as you're playing. So if you haven't been getting a clean tone, try growing your fingernail out a little bit. Just a couple millimeters will do it, and then see if that helps. Another difficulty with getting a clean tone is sometimes people strike a string and they try to bring their finger back out to avoid hitting any of the other strings. And that sort of hesitant approach to a string makes it really difficult to have a clear tone. So one thing that I like to remind people is that you can actually play through a string and your finger can land on the string below it. And that string won't make any noise. So I can hit the second string and my finger can bounce on the first string, and that first string isn't going to make any noise unless I push through it again. So you can just practice. Pushing through each string and letting your finger land on the string below it. When you're practicing your bum ditty, make sure that your thumb is really landing on that fifth string. Even if you're not planning on playing it just then, you still want to get in the habit of your thumb finding its spot right there. When my thumb is resting on the fifth string, I can push through and pluck the string whenever I want to. I can get a nice clear sound, and I can be really in charge of my timing. Some people have difficulty with the idea of resting their thumb on the string and instead sort of brush at the string with their thumb from a floating position. If you do that, you tend to get a lighter, less distinct sound out of the fifth string. You can have trouble with your timing, and it's harder to go fast because your thumb has a lot of extra motion that it's putting in. So if you find that your thumb is floating and you're doing a lot of brushing against the string, consider practicing really locking your thumb on that string. Just bring your hand down, try to practice your finger and your thumb hitting the string at the same time. Maybe even practice just locking your thumb on that string and hitting all the other strings with your finger. Anything you can do to really convince your thumb that it wants to rest on that string, it'll help give you clarity of tone and accuracy in your timing. Well, those are the basics, and they should be enough to get you started on your own musical journey. If you have any specific tutorials that you'd like me to do, just send me a message. Let me know what you're interested in, and I'll do my best to help.